Okay, just porn star inviting you back to her
Yeah,
cabin. Just an average day at the office.
an average day at the office. Yeah.
Did you see a lot of upside down pineapples?
Oh yeah.
Hey sailors, welcome to Cruising as Crew. I am here with the wonderful Kaylee, otherwise known as Cookie, who is going to tell us all about her job on board. So hello,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. I'm so excited to talk to you. We have much to talk about. All right. So, can you tell us where this all started? How did you get into working on cruise ships?
To be honest, I was really miserable with my 9 to 5 job. I really wanted to travel the world. So I almost thought about being a flight attendant, but I don't think I would meet the height requirement on that one. So my dad suggested cruise jobs because we used to go on cruises when we as a family when I was a kid. And I looked into it and I saw Lucy's videos as a point of interest, and she was showing how amazing the life is and lots of information. And so that's why I decided I was going to translate what I was doing with kids onto the cruise ship.
Like for someone who doesn't know what they want to do, and for someone who is doing a 9 to 5 and you're just bored of it, especially when you're like young, especially when you've just come out of college, you're like, oh my God, is this it? Is this
Yeah.
what life is as an adult? It's an amazing way to get out of that just like monotonous lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's an amazing way to, not only see the world, but make loads of new friends, and just have a different experience, I
Right.
think.
Yeah. And I in the workplace I was at the time, I was actually working on a military base, and the management, there's a little bit of toxicity in the work environment on land. And I remember the manager telling me I was going to quit it. And I said, I think I'm going to try something else. And they said, oh, well, just remember the grass isn't greener on the other side or anything. And I was like, but it is. It is
Oh,
greener. It's much
so
greener.
much greener.
There's oceans, there's everything.
You know what, actually, I never thought about this, but I had the same. So I finished my like massage qualification. I finished becoming a beauty therapist, and I was working at a salon. And I had a nice time there, but I remember when I told them that I got a job on a cruise ship,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, it's not all cracked up to be. Like there's going to be targets that you need to hit, and you're going to
Right.
be working all these hours, and all of this stuff. And there was like everything they said was true for me, and that there
Right.
was targets, there was long hours, but well, I'm in Bora Bora, and then the next day I'm in Tahiti, so it's
Yeah.
fine, like it. There's like yes, it's hard work, and I'm sure you found that it is hard work, but the lifestyle makes it so worth it.
It does. It really does. Yeah, you have to choose your hard. Nothing's gonna be easy, but you have to choose your hard. And I'm so happy I chose this one because there's way more pros than there is cons of this lifestyle to me. It's not
Yeah.
everyone's cup of tea, but I it works for us. So
And the thing that I always really liked is that yes, you do go away for like 5, 6, 9 months and you work really hard, but then
yeah,
you come back and like you're now at home on vacation and just
yeah.
enjoying your time, seeing your friends.
Yes, I'm that unemployed friend on a Wednesday, no meetings, just doing whatever you want. So it's pretty cool.
So what made you decide on working in the kids department on cruise ships? Because you could have done a whole host of things, right?
Right. Yeah. It just really aligned with what I was doing at the time. I honestly I love the kids. I didn't think I was gonna be working with kids, but I do love them. They make you laugh and they're a joy to be around.
So did you apply with a recruitment agency or directly to the cruise line?
I started directly with the cruise line, and as you probably know, it takes a really long time to hear back. So I went through a third party agency called Castaway online, and
Ah,
they
yes. Okay.
yeah, like a few days I heard back from them and I had an interview set up and everything. So
Yeah, Castaway are really good. I've heard a lot
Mhm.
of people have gone through Castaway and they've had a really good experience. So how long was it between kind of doing the interview and getting told that you got the job to getting on your first cruise ship?
I would say maybe 3 months or so. It was a few months. It was a
Yeah.
long process, especially doing your medicals and the background checks. It's just a lot of waiting around, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is. This is why I always tell people, I'm like, don't quit your job until you've been given like a joining date.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because so many people message me and they're like, I've done the interview and I've quit. And I'm like, oh God, because you might be at home for like
Oh
another,
yeah. For a
like you
while.
were 3 months. Some people are 6, some people are 9 months. So you
Mhm.
really can take a while. So just hold your horses. I know it's exciting, but if you get the
Yeah.
job, just don't quit yet, don't quit
Mhm.
your day job yet. So what qualifications did you need to have to be able to work in the youth department?
So there's a few. The first one being, of course, you need to have like 3 to 5 years of experience working with kids,
Yeah.
and they do require a degree for our department, or some type of a teaching certificate, like the TEFL or TESOL. But nowadays, I'm not so sure because we've heard some rumors, I guess, that there's some people getting hired that don't have a degree or type of teaching certificate. So now I'm actually not sure what the requirements are. But I think as long as you have experience working with kids, then you should be good.
But also, I think it depends on the cruise line as to like
Uh-huh.
whether you have to have a degree, like higher education, or whether you can just have experience.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of ship life? Like when you got on board your first cruise ship, tell me about those first few weeks.
Oh my God. So when I signed on, it was kind of when COVID towards the end, but we all had to quarantine for like 10 days. And I remember I called my mom, I was like, Mom, can you come pick me up? The ship had already set sail, but I was so overwhelmed because it's a lot of information thrown to you at once. It's a lot of training. So it's just very overwhelming. It's a lot of information overload. Um, but yeah, that's when you first sign on. But there's also you kind of have a big culture shock because there's people from so many different cultures, and it's really cool too because you get to learn so many different things and expand your mind and your thinking. So that was also pretty shocking too.
I mean, you seem like a beautiful person, very friendly person. So how long was it before you started making some good friendships on board?
Really fast. Like I think even in one of your videos you talked about how quickly versus on land, it's like twice the speed on ships. You make friends so fast, you create relationships so fast because these becomes your family away from home and you're going to rely on these people to be your support system. So
Yeah.
everything moves very quickly. You make friends, I think, like this.
Were a lot of those friendships within that department? Like, were they all youth staff or?
I would say they were everywhere. Definitely, you get closer with your team, but I was fortunate because my very first ship, which is a very, very small, intimate ship, so you know pretty much everybody's name from all the departments. I've never done an Oasis class ship yet, so I don't really know the difference of, I don't know how clicky the departments are.
That's something I found, like on the smaller
Huh.
ships, you get to know everyone. Like my first cruise ship was Rhapsody of the Seas.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, everyone spoke to everyone. I was friends with the casino guys, with the chefs, obviously I was in the spa, I was friends with the art people, like everyone just intermingled. And then going on the bigger ships, you do find that you tend to stay within your department. I think because like when I was on Harmony of the Seas, like there were like 50 people in the shops. So
Oh,
I didn't even need to leave the shops department and I knew 50 people. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like on the smaller ships, you're like, there's 6 people in my
yeah, yeah.
department.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, to have
Yeah, no,
people.
and have you had like good itineraries?
Oh yeah, we just got back from Asia actually. We were doing like Singapore and Shanghai.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That was
Where was
pretty
your
cool.
favorite?
Japan. Japan by far. I've only been to Coco Cay maybe like twice so far, knock on wood.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Japan's better. So
Japan, yeah. I Coco Cay is nice, but after a while it gets
well,
old.
I think that it's different, isn't it? Like if no, Japan's better. I was gonna try and make a case for Coca-Cola, but like this, if you can go to Japan or perfect day at Coca-Cola, like
It's a
Japan,
perfect day in Japan, yeah.
it's a perfect day in Japan. Like you're fine. You don't need to go to Coca-Cola if
Yeah.
you've been to Japan.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so as a youth staff, do you share a cabin?
Yes, we do have to share cabins, but I'm lucky because my partner actually works on board. He's the sports supervisor, and he's from Devon, actually. So we're
Oh, okay.
very different culturally too. But yeah, so
And did you manage to get a cabin together?
We did, yeah. Last contract, we had our first couples cabin, which is nice. I mean, I don't mind the bunk bed, but they're so small, so you kind of one of us has to be on the top bunk, one on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, sleeping together is a bit
Oh
not
yeah,
but it just like sleeping together, it's not really, it's not
yeah.
comfortable.
No, no. It's like okay, good night. I'm going upstairs, is what I call it.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
So did you had like one roommate before you got your cabin with your boyfriend or
Yeah, so I did have a couple roommates, and I've been also really fortunate because I've had amazing roommates before I met my partner. I had a friend from Mauritius, I had a friend from Canada, from the Philippines. So, and they were all really lovely and super sweet roommates. So I didn't have any horror roommate
okay.
stories.
No, this is good because I think people have heard my like roommate horror stories and they're like, oh my God. So it's good that you've only had like good experiences and you've managed to get a couple's cabin. So for anyone watching, if you are going on a cruise ship as a couple, then there is hope. There is
Uh-huh. There's hope. There's hope. It works out. We don't see each other either, so we haven't killed each other yet because our schedules are very
hope.
different. But I think it's important when you do have a roommate, you have to have that uncomfortable roommate talk. Like, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? Like, what are your boundaries? So I think you do have to have that talk as well.
Did you have that talk with your roommates?
Yeah, I just like to tell them like you're not gonna offend me if you let me know if you like something a certain way. Like I'd rather you just talk to me directly. Because sometimes you're on the team and you could hear a lot of people talking about their roommates, and sometimes their roommates are working in the same department as you. So I think it's just better if you talk with your roommate directly to avoid any of
No, absolutely, because I think I mean, obviously it avoids a lot more uncomfortableness.
that.
Is
Hmm.
uncomfortableness, is that even a word? You know what I mean. But
Yeah.
it also like on a cruise ship, I don't know whether you found this, it's really difficult to separate like personal and
Hmm.
professional life. And especially if you're living with someone who works in your department and they're going to go and chat shit about you to all the people
Hmm.
that you work with, very quickly your
Yeah.
personal living situation becomes a professional situation.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's really good that you have those chats because, well, it's obviously worked. Like you say, you've had really good roommate situations, then it might be because you had that chat saying, hey, just let me know if I'm pissing you off. Please don't go and bitch to everyone else.
Yes, yeah, it's so important. And news travels like wildfire on ships. It's ridiculous how fast you literally watch it with your own eyes. And how fast news spreads. It's like a game of telephone.
I know people know you've done something before you've done it.
Before you do
It's
it.
like, excuse me?
Yes. It's very entertaining though, but it's not entertaining when it involves you. But
People have very overactive imaginations.
everyone gets bored. We have no Wi-Fi, so we have to make up our own TV
Yeah,
series.
yeah. Tell me about the Wi-Fi situation.
Uh, I mean, you already know that's probably the biggest con is the
Okay.
Wi-Fi that we have to pay for our Wi-Fi is no secret that a lot of people talk about. And I believe it's like was it 3.99, 4.99 for 1 hour that you have to use in 24 hours.
It varies from cruise ship to cruise ship, but
Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing. I wish they would have
yeah.
Wi-Fi for their crew members. But
Okay, so if that's the biggest con, what's the biggest pro?
the biggest pro, I would say, I mean, oh, there's a lot. There's a lot that come to mind. Just the fact that you get to travel and you get to have all these friends from all over the world. Just the people is what makes the ship,
Yeah,
honestly. So, yeah, that's what I would say. The biggest pro is the people.
the people. Yeah, I always said it's the people as well. Like the friendships, you've made, and you've, like you said, you've probably made friends from every corner of the globe that otherwise you just wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet. So you say this is it's going to be your fifth
Yeah. Yeah.
contract. Okay, and how long are your contracts?
Ours, the youth staff is 5 months normally,
Okay.
but we can extend up to seven, like extend for a 7 month contract, which I will have to do this time around because normally for the sports supervisor, it's also 7 months. They have been because we're registered, they do shorten his contract to match mine. So we've been lucky a few times he has a shorter one, but this time it will be 7 months. So I'm going to extend for 7 months as well, which is
Whoa.
brutal.
Don't even think about it yet. Don't even think about it.
No. It'll be great. It'll be lots of fun. We'll make the
Yeah.
most of it.
No, it will be. But what's the itinerary on this next cruise ship?
We are going to our home port will be in Barcelona, so we'll be heading over to Europe for a couple months and then Caribbean. Woo!
Amazing. Oh, that's so nice that you get both. So like you'll do Europe, and then when Europe becomes a little bit boring, you'll go over to the Caribbean and you'll get to do Coco Cay.
Yes, we love Coco Cay.
Damn, Coco Cay.
We're gonna spend money and then we're gonna save money, so it's a balance.
You absolutely are. Yeah. And it's important because as much as it is easy to save money on cruise ships because you don't have a car to pay for, no commute, you're not paying rent, you're not paying bills, you don't even have to do a food shop.
Hmm.
If you're in Europe, easy to spend money because you're obviously, one day you're in Italy, one day you're in Barcelona, one day you're in Paris, wherever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, oh, where did the money go?
Uh-huh.
Where did my salary go?
That was Japan too. We were spending it like Monopoly money, like
Do you know anyone who's on Voyager currently?
I do, yeah. One of the youth staff that I was just working with on Spectrum just a couple months ago, he's on there again. So it's nice
Yeah.
to have somebody that you know.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's so lovely, and obviously, the more you do cruise ships, the more you realize what a small world it is. Because like,
Right.
sometimes you'll go on a cruise ship where you think, "Oh my God, I'm not going to know anyone," and you'll get on board and you're like, "Oh, it's you, it's you,
Yeah.
it's you."
Yeah.
So and then you kind of have this like instant connection because
Right.
you know each other from a past ship.
Yeah, it's really nice because sometimes when you go to a team where you don't know anyone, it's really hard to sort of integrate yourself because sometimes when you join, it's when the old team members have kind of been together for a long time. They have inside jokes, so you're kind of shy and they're also observing you, you're observing them. So it's nice when you have someone there. It helps you integrate the team a little bit better too.
Yeah, because it's a massive adjustment, and even when you've done like cruise ships for a while, even when it's not your first contract, you're still going brand new ship, brand new location. You don't know your manager. I mean, that's a huge thing. It's like, are they going to be a nightmare? Are they going
Yeah.
to be lovely? So it is like it is always scary going to a new ship because you don't know what you're going to really.
But I did have to do my first contract as swinger cruise, charter cruise. Um,
Tell me about the swinger cruise. Yeah, it's charter cruises are a good time.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. The people were the most nicest guests I've ever met, actually.
Yeah.
But I would feel myself a little bit red in the face or not really know where to look or to watch. They made us actually
Yeah.
bartend during that charter cruise. We obviously had no kids on board.
Yeah. Oh God, thank God no kid. No kids
Yeah,
were
no, not at all. But like an interesting story that I do have is I had a famous adult film star actually tried to invite me back to her cabin. I was working on the Rockwall desk, and I don't know her name actually. I don't remember. But funny enough, there was a crew staff guy. He's like, "You had so and so invite you." Like he knew her name and everything,
I bet he did.
and so that you have lots of interesting encounters that happen to you. And
Okay, just porn star inviting you back to her
yeah,
cabin. Just an average day at the office,
an average day at the office, yeah, which of
Yeah.
course we're not allowed to. We don't want to get fired.
No, 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 no. God, of course.
Just to set the record straight.
Yeah, I didn't go. I was invited, but I did not go back to her cabin.
Right, right. So that's an interesting encounter that,
I wonder if she was going around the ship just
oh, for sure, because she told us the night before she was with a bartender or somebody, or we don't know how true that was, but yeah, she was making her
just
rounds.
making her rounds. She was having a good time on her cruise. She was getting
Content.
the most for her money.
Yes.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, good for her. What else is there to do on a cruise? Who wants to do bowls? Who wants to go to the cinema when you can
Yeah,
be
for
with the cruise?
sure.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah. We did a gay cruise on one of the ships that I was on, and I mean, they were just doing it everywhere.
Oh yeah, I heard those are
Everywhere.
so much fun though, and everybody's so nice and hilarious.
Yeah. Oh no, they're lovely. Like so
Yeah.
lovely, so fun. But I walked around the whole
Oh
time
yeah,
like this because I was
it's
like,
a
oh my
shock.
God, they're just everywhere.
Tons and tons of interesting encounters and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, you see many things when you work on a cruise ship, especially when it's a charter cruise. But did you say that was your first cruise as well?
It was my first contract. It happened a few cruises
A few
later
cruises
on, but
into your first
yeah,
contract.
yeah,
I
maybe.
bet you were like, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah, yeah. And even my family was like, "They're doing what now?" Like I had no idea, but
I thought
it
this was a nice family holiday
right.
place you were working.
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but funny enough, we had the Easter like family Christian cruise, the one after it. So I'm like, oh my God, they're spraying the sports score. I'm like, you guys have no idea what was going on last night. We had to do a like a Charlie drill just to find things, and we found like in the slide and everywhere.
Oh,
It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
that's incredible that you had the swinger cruise straight
Mhm.
for the Christian cruise.
Great experience.
Did you see a lot of upside down pineapples
Oh yeah. And
everywhere?
I was born in I grew up a little bit in Hawaii, and so my mom loves to decorate the house with pineapples and things. I'm like, Mom, I think we should get rid of those. Like it's time. Let's bring this to the
This
cruise.
has a new meaning to me now. Like, so what about when you're not at work then? What do you do for fun?
After work, I do like to go to the crew bar. I love Latin dance night. I love to dance, and
No, absolutely. Latin night is the best night. It's
it's the
incredible.
best night. Right. It's so cool. And all the Independence Days and everything. Oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Indian Independence Day is my favorite.
Really? I
Oh
love
my God.
Brazilian.
Every ship I've been on, Indian Independence Day is just a
Uh-huh.
good time because they
Yeah.
get into it. They get into it. I mean, the dancing, the holding each other's hands and doing like the ring a rosy around
Yes.
if you haven't had an Indian Independence Day at sea, you should look forward to it.
Uh-huh.
It's a good time. How long do you think you'll work on cruise ships, or is this something you've thought of, or
Yeah, I've been thinking of it a lot recently too. The nice thing about working in big companies, there's like a lot of different avenues that you can go down, especially if you want to step up. I
yeah.
am thinking about possibly leaving this contract, stepping up. I think if I stay in ships for a while, I would love to try to go up to cruise director. I love hosting. I love hosting the games for the kids. I would love to host for the adults too. So that might be something to look forward to.
I mean, we'll see. The life is long, so
It is. It is. I think a lot of people think life is short. It's too late to do this. I'm at this age, and I think it's a bunch of BS. If you ask me, you can do anything at any age if you want to.
absolutely. Well, that is it. That's the other thing. Like, as much as cruise ships is aimed at the younger people, and I do think it's a great thing to do when you're young. I have people write to me all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I'm 35, I'm 45, I'm 55. I want to work on cruise ships. Am I too late?" And I'm like, "No, not at
No.
all. Like, if you can walk, then it's not too late."
Yeah.
But Cookie, thank you so much. I have thoroughly enjoyed this interview. It's been so lovely getting to know you.
You as well. Thank you so much. Guys, keep following Lucy's stuff because she's incredible. She
Oh,
really
thank you. But yeah, thank you again. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. And if you have any questions for Cookie, leave them down in the comments and I will ask her and get back to you. But yeah, have a wonderful rest of the week and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye.